Hello, in this video we're going to learn how to play Surface Pressure from the movie Encanto on Baritone Ukulele. And if you play the standard tuning of ukulele, you can totally use these chords as well, but I'm not going to show you the shapes. I'm going to be pretty specific to the DGVE tuning. The reason for that is because it's a little bit easier to play in the key of E minor on this instrument as opposed to the other instrument. It's not impossible, but there's other solutions. So that's why the choice for this instrument. Also, I just like it better. So we're going to learn how to play Surface Pressure, and I always have timestamps in this video. If you notice that I'm going through something that you know how to do really well and you're like, I don't need a review on this, you can always skip ahead. I have timestamps in the description of the video. I have timestamps in the play bar thing. I'm an older sister, and I will say, like, my parents, who are definitely watching this video, they never put pressure on me as a kid, and I'm really grateful for that. But I will say older siblings tend to put pressure on themselves, I think, and I think the story of how Luisa, like what she symbolizes, it makes her character very, very relatable. So that's why I really was happy to hear this song. I also really like that it's an E. That's a really singable key for me. So I'm going to just basically go over how to play the chords. I might not do them all in order, and then I will go over some arrangement stuff that I did in terms of like strumming choices and performance choices, which you can follow or not. You know, it's all up to you, but I'm putting it out there for you. Just some ideas for getting this song on this instrument. We're going to get started with the E minor chord. Super easy on this instrument. You just put your second finger down, second fret of the D string. From there we have our D major chord. We're going to just take our second finger, jump it one string to the G string. Third finger goes on the B string. First finger goes on the E string. That's the way that I do the D major chord on this instrument. Sometimes people do it like this with the first and second finger switch. I don't think it's as efficient for myself to do it that way, just because I'm here and then to have to move my fingers like that. It just isn't as efficient of a choice for me. But if you're really comfortable doing that fingering, you do you. So we have E minor, we have D, and then we have our C chord. So we're jumping back to that D string, adding first finger to the first fret of the B string. And then the last chord that we need for the verses and the intro is B. This one's a little bit trickier just because we're using all four fingers. We're going to take our first finger and go on the second fret of the E string. And then our second, third, fourth fingers are going to stack 2 frets over, so the 4th fret of all other strings. One good idea if you're not totally comfortable with this might be to practice going from C to B. At this point, if you're learning this song, I'm going to assume that you know how to practice. If that is not the case, I recommend looking at some easier songs and then coming back to this one using those same techniques. In the chorus, we have all those same 3-4 chords. We have E minor, we have C, we have D. The other chord that we have is G, so that's third finger on the 3rd fret. The last chords that we need to really use are in the bridge. So we're going to start with the G chord. And I'm using my 3rd finger. With my 2nd finger, I'm just going to move 1 fret down to make a G major 7 chord. And then I'm going 1 fret down more to make a G7 chord. G7 is the dominant to C, so we're going to go to C chord. The next chord is notated as a C minor 6. Another name for this chord would also be an A half diminished. So that chord uses the same note. You're going to basically make a C minor shape, which is a little bit awkward. We've got 4th finger on the E string, 3rd fret. We've got second finger on the D string first fret, that makes an E flat. First finger on the B string first fret, and the 6 is an A. So we're going to put our third finger on the G string second fret. Isn't that a cool chord? If you're like, maybe this is a couple too many fingers for me to put down right now, functionally, it will be okay if you don't do the 6. Functionally, it'll be okay if you just have a C minor chord. That chord resolves to E minor. And then we're going to go into a little bit of a different direction. We're going to go to B minor. So first finger, second fret of the E string. Second finger, third fret of the B string. Third finger, fourth fret of the G string. And from there, we're going to go to A minor, kind of a leap. So we've got second finger and third finger, both on the second fret, the D and G strings, and then first finger, first fret of the B string. And then we have the B7. So just to review, B7, first finger on the first fret of the D string, second finger on the second fret of the G string, and then third finger is on the second fret of the E string. And just because these chords are pretty different from what we've had before, I'm going to start on the C major chord. This is kind of like the second half of the bridge. So we're going to go C major, C minor 6, ready, go. E minor, ready, go. B minor, ready, go. A minor, ready, go. B7, ready, go. If you felt like that practice was too fast for you, you can always slow it down. I will never know, nobody will ever know, nobody will judge you for playing something slowly. And in fact, it's better to. It really, 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 I promise you, is better to practice something slowly. And in fact, since we're on the bridge, and this is a little bit different from everything else, I think we're going to practice how to strum the bridge. Because this is a kind of more floaty, she's like floating in the clouds with her donkeys. I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Each G chord is going to have one section of that. These 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3, like that, and my thumb goes down. So I'm going to go kind of plucking towards each other, like making this motion, closing towards each other. So I'm going to go G, G major 7, G7, and then just 2 beats of C, C major 6, and then G7, and then C, C major 6, and then here's where it gets a little bit different. We'll talk a little bit more in detail, but basically it's going to be a fast island strum. It's going to go B minor, A minor, and then B7. So that's going to be like the modified island strum that I'll talk about a little bit later, and it's growing and growing because the words are that it's growing and growing and we keep going. So I figure that's a good place to be growing musically as well. In terms of strumming patterns, this is all going to be in the second page of the printable that I have a link to in the description of this video. First, I'm going to do offbeats. So I'm going to go tap and then up, mute, up, mute, up. In that first section, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, C, 2, 2, and then for no chord, I'm just going to tap 1, 2, 3, 4. After that introduction section, verse 1, I'm going to do my modified island strum. Here's what I mean by that. If you're familiar with island strum, you would know that it goes down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down. What you count is 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1. So your motion is still going up and down, and it's just when you choose not to hit the strings that makes the silent beats. So what makes it modified is instead of strumming down all the way, like that, on beat 2, I'm going to do a chuck. So I'm going to mute the strings. The chuck motion, for me, it's actually not my easiest technique, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, mute, and. So let's try that together. 1, and I'm using this part of my hand to mute the strings. Something that I didn't know when I was first learning that technique is you don't have to hit the strings very hard. It would just be as if you were strumming regular, and you don't have to mute very hard. So it's just a very short. So don't think that you have to really dig in with the string. The other thing that makes it modified is the tempo. It's a really, really fast pattern in this song. I'm gonna go. If you'd rather learn the chords first in the play along, you can just do that. You can just go. That's totally fine. Let's practice going on the quicker side, and this is the modified island strum. So we're going to start on E minor. It's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Here's D, C, E minor, D, C, E minor, D, C, here's B. What I do after that, for the choruses, I go back to the offbeats. I guess I equivocated that because in the song, there's not that much happening when she first starts with the chorus. A lot of things drop out, and it's just her. And there's maybe some percussion stuff, so I'm just gonna go. So do that for the first half of the chorus. And then where it says, who am I if I can't run with the ball, it says B and then it says NC. That means no chord. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, B. So I'm just going to do the chord one time and then tap for 3 beats. So it's going to go, who am I if I can't run with the ball, if I fall to. Still one more time. 1, 2, start on G, 1. Here's B. And then after that, I go back into the island strum. And this is the second half of the chorus. So 2 strumming patterns in the choruses. So let's do that together. Second half of that chorus. 1, 2, ready, island strum. Falter. I have a couple options. I put B and then no chord. There's options. If you want to just strum through that with the B chord, you're totally welcome to do that. I will probably tend to Who am I if I can't carry it all? If I falter. Maybe I'll do one pattern of that. If I falter. And that gives me a better transition into verse 2. Let's talk a little bit about transitions. So I'm going to go transition first from the intro to verse 1. So we're going to go from offbeats to the island strum pattern. And we're going to start like, I take what I'm handed, I break what's demanded, but... So I don't do that last B chord because I got to get ready for the island strum. So I'm going to go, I take what I'm handed, I break what's demanded, but... From the verse 1 to chorus 1. So again, I'm going to take a little bit of the pattern away to be ready right on time for the next pattern. So the breaks the camel's back. Breaks the camel's back, the breaks the camel's back. It's pressure that'll drip, 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 will never stop. Whoa. So if that transition is a little bit tricky, I recommend taking it pretty slow. And doing it a lot of times. It took me a lot of times to figure that out, so don't feel bad if you're like, what? I don't get it. The transition from verse 2 to the bridge, try to stop it tumbling, but on and on it goes. That's also going from the island strum until the bridge. So it's gonna go. So it's gonna be pretty loud and then something soft. I'm ad-libbing, alternating some of the finger picking. You do what you need to do to make sure that the beat is right on. So sometimes those adding some stuff to ad-lib to like really keep myself steady, that's what that's for. Honestly, that's everything that I think we need to go through for this tutorial. I know there's a lot happening, and this is all an arrangement. So, you know, if there's parts of it that you're like, I'm not ready to do that strumming pattern or that kind of technique yet, you play the chords. That's all you need to do. You adjust it to the level that you need to adjust it to enjoy playing the song. That is what's most important for this. So, let's do the play along. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm the strong one, I'm not nervous, I'm as tough as the crust of the earth is. I move mountains, I move churches, and I glow cause I know what my worth is. I don't ask how hard the work is, got a rough indestructible surface, diamonds and platinum, I find them, I flatten them, I take what I'm handed, I break what's demanded, but under the surface, I feel berserk as a tightrope walker in a 3-ring circus. Under the surface, is Hercules ever like, yo, I don't wanna fight Cerberus. Under the surface, pretty sure I'm worthless if I can be of service. A flaw or crash is strong, stack that breaks the camel's back. What breaks the camel's back? It's pressure that can drip, 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 that'll never stop. Whoa, pressure that'll tip, tip, tip till you just go pop. Whoa, oh, give it to your sister's older. Give her all the heavy things that we can't shoulder. Who am I if I can't run with the ball? If I fall to pressure like a grip, 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 I won't let go. Whoa, pressure like a tick, tick, tick till it's ready to blow. Whoa, give it to your sister stronger. See if she can hang on a little longer. Who am I if I can't carry it all? If I falter under the surface, I have my nerves at it worse since I worry something is gonna hurt us. Under the surface, the ship doesn't swerve as it hurt how big the iceberg is. Under the surface, think about my purpose, can I somehow preserve this? Light up the dominoes, the light wind blows. You try to stop it tumbling, but on and on it goes. But wait, if I could shake the crushing weight of expectations, would that free some room up for joy or relaxation or simple pleasure? Instead we measure this growing pressure. It's growing, keep growing as all bends but never breaks. No mistakes, just pressure like a grip, 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 and it won't let go. Whoa, pressure like a tick, tick, tick till it's ready to blow. Whoa, give it to your sister, never wonder if the same weight would have pulled you under. Who am I if I don't have what it takes? No cracks, no breaks, no mistakes, no pressure. Yeah, so I hope you had as much fun as I did learning that song. I definitely have a lot more to work on now that I played it a few times. So I hope to hear from you. If you enjoyed it, please let me know. If you have other ideas for a tutorial, let me know that too. And until next time, stay mindful, stay musical, stay out of trouble.